অগ্রযাত্রার প্রথম অনুষ্ঠানে আজকে আসার জন্য আপনাদেরকে বিশেষ অভিনন্দন জানাচ্ছি। আমাদের অনুষ্ঠান এখনই শুরু হবে, আপনারা অনুষ্ঠান উপভোগ করুন। তাহলে আমাদের যদি কোনো ভুল ত্রুটি হয়ে থাকে তাহলে ক্ষমা সুন্দর চোখে দেখবেন। ধন্যবাদ।
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والتين والزيتون والطور سينين وهذا البلد الأمين لقد خلقنا الإنسان في الصالح كنتم رددناها وشرا صافين الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات فلهم أجر غير ممنون ومن يكذبك بعد فإن الله تعالى بأحكم الحاكمين.
Hi, I'm Nabil.
I'm Joey.
And ancient Bangla, a long time ago, Bangladesh was called Bangla and was part of the Indian subcontinent. Ancient Bangla was ruled by many empires.
Each empire was infused and contributed to this region's culture, heritage, and tradition. Today's Bangla upholds the rich heritage of thousands of years.
Let's take a brief journey through the years. The Nanda Empire, the era was 5th through 4th century BC. The capital was Pataliputra, modern-day Patna. Languages was Sanskrit. Religion was Jainism, Hinduism, and Buddhism. Prominent kings were Mahapadma Nanda and Dhanananda. And it's part of partial India, Nepal, and Bangladesh.
They built a very large army and executed war with Alexander. The army had consisted of 200,000 infantry, 80,000 cavalry, 8,000 war chariots, and 6,000 war elephants. Alexander never engaged into war with the Nanda, fearing the large army and stopped near modern-day Punjab region.
Mayuran Empire. The era was 4th to 2nd century BC. The capital was modern-day Patna. Languages was Sanskrit. Religion was Jainism, Hinduism, and Buddhism. Prominent kings was Chandragupta Mayuran and Great King Ashoka. And it's part of India, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal, Iran, Maldives, and Burma, Pakistan.
Interesting fact. Total area of this kingdom was almost 2 million square miles, which is as big as 12 largest states in the U.S. combined, or more than half the size of the United States. This made the Mayuran Empire the largest ever empire in the Indian subcontinent. The population was about 60 million, making it one of the most populous empires of that time. Under Ashoka, citizens enjoyed 50 years of peace, security, social harmony, and expansion of the sciences and of knowledge. He embraced Buddhism and laid the foundation of political peace and nonviolence across the country. He introduced the famous lion head emblem, which is still used as the emblem of modern day. Bangla and Kamba Empire. The era was from 2nd century BC through 1st century AD. The capital was Pataliputra, modern-day Patna, and the languages were Sanskrit and Pali. The religions were Jainism, Hinduism, and Buddhism. The prominent kings were Pushimitra, Tunga, and Vasudeva Ganga, part of India, Bangladesh, and Nepal.
Interesting fact. Both these empires were engaged in many wars. However, art, education, philosophy, and other forms of learning flowered during this period. The Sunga rulers helped to establish a tradition of royal sponsorship of learning and art. They established Mathura School of Art Making. It was one of the earliest art institutes in the world. Yoga and herbal medicine was first crafted during the Sunga Empire, which is still practiced around the world. Gupta Empire. Era was 4th to 7th century AD. Capital was Pataliputra, modern-day Patna. Languages was Sanskrit. Religion was Hinduism, Buddhism. Prominent kings was Chandragupta, Samudragupta, and Vishnugupta. And it's part of India, Bangladesh, and Nepal, and Pakistan.
Interesting facts. This was the golden age of ancient India where extensive inventions and discoveries in science, technology, engineering, art, literature, logic, mathematics, astronomy, religion, and philosophy that crystallized the elements of what is generally known as Hindu culture. The high points of this cultural creativity are magnificent architecture, sculptures, and paintings. Gupta period produced scholars like Kalidas, Vishnu Sharma, who made great progress in academic area. Pal Empire. The era was from 8th through 12th century AD. The capital was Pataliputra, modern-day Patna, and Gaur. Languages were Sanskrit and the religions were Hinduism and Buddhism. The prominent kings were Devapal and Dharmapal. It's part of today India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Afghanistan.
Pal empires and Pal rulers emerged from Bangla, and at its peak, it took over most of the subcontinent. The first Pal ruler, Gopal, came to power through a democratic election in 750 AD. They eventually lost their reign to a Sena dynasty, and then to the invasion of the Muslim army coming from Turkey.
Transitional dynasties. After the demise of the Pal dynasty, there were few transitional dynasties. Among them, some are Chandra, Sen, and Dev dynasties. Throughout this period, Bangla saw many wars. The regional culture remained mainly based on Hindu and Buddhist religion.
Iftikhar Khilji, from the Turkish origin, invaded Bangla in 1203. Upon conquering Bangla, he spread Islam throughout the region. He was also responsible in the destruction of the ancient great Buddhist university, Nalanda, which he mistakenly assumed to be a fortress. It is told that Nalanda had a library so vast that once it was set on fire, it took 3 months for the library to burn down. One of his successors started invading neighboring regions, including Bihar, which threatened the Sultan of Delhi, and caused them to invade Bangla and crush the Khiljis. From this period, Bangla came under the governorship of Delhi Sultan.
Independent Sultan of Bangla. After Bangla came under the governorship of Delhi Sultan, many governors were in charge of this region. This period was very chaotic and war-prone as each governor was overthrown by the next one. At the same time, Delhi Sultanate also faced anarchy and the entire region fell into political instability and uncertainty. Around 1281, Nasiruddin Khan, then Bangla governor, was offered the throne of Delhi Sultanate by Sultan Ghiyasuddin. However, Nasiruddin fell in love with the beauty of Bangla and declined the offer. After the death of Sultan Ghiyasuddin, Nasiruddin declared independence from Delhi Sultanate, entitled him as the independent Sultan of Bangla.
Once Mughals took over the Delhi Sultanate, they established Bangla as one of their provinces. Thus, the region became Bangla province from 1324 to 1754. During this time, the region saw some stability. Samrat Akbar established a revenue settlement system through the Mughal region. Under that, in 1582, Bangla province was divided into 24 districts, which included 19 districts from Bangla and 5 from Orissa. In 1607, during the reign of Jahangir, Orissa became a separate province from Bangla. Throughout this period, the region got heavily influenced by the Mughals. Their influence can be seen in palaces, mausoleums, and other constructions, as well as language and culture.
Governor Subedar Shaista Khan. Under Shaista Khan's rule, the size of Dhaka reached 12 miles by 8 miles with a swelling population of 1 million people. It contained over 100 universities and numerous mosques. He established trade with Europe and other parts of Asia and signed trade agreements with European powers. His encouragement of construction and public works in Dhaka led to massive urban and economic expansion.
He was a patron of the arts and sponsored many majestic monuments across the province. Mosques, mausoleums, and palaces constructed during this time represented the finest Mughal architecture. Expanded to Lal Bagh Fort, Chowk Bazar Mosque, and South Masjid Bara and Ogrojatra. He also supervised the construction of the mausoleum for his daughter, which is known as Pori Bibi's Majar.
It is thought that the name of the city may have derived after the establishment of the goddess Kakeshwari temple by the Sen dynasty in the 12th century. In 1610, the Mughal general Alauddin Chishti moved the capital of the province to Dhaka.
He also renamed Dhaka as Jahangir Nagar, which was later dropped after Sultan Jahangir's death. During that time, Dhaka was the center of the worldwide Muslim trade. The city flourished under Shaista Khan when he was the governor of Bangla during the 17th century.
Nawabs of Bangla. Nawabs of Bangla were the provincial governors who ruled Bangla, Bihar, and Orissa from 1717. Murshid Wali Khan was the first independent Nawab of Bangla after the death of the Sultan Aurangzeb. Sirajud-Dowla was the last independent Nawab of Bangla until he was defeated by the British East India Company in the Battle of Pulashi in 1757. His defeat mainly came because he was grossly betrayed by his general Mir Jafar, who made a secret treaty with British.
Shiraj was aware of the British interest in colonizing Bangla and resented the British political and military presence. His charges against the East India Company was the following: strengthening the fortification around Fort William without any approval of the court, gross abuse of the trade privileges granted the Mughal Empire rulers, causing heavy loss of custom duties for the government, providing shelter to the accused court officials for misappropriation of government funds. When they started further enchantment of military preparedness at Fort William, Shiraj asked them to stop. The company did not heed his directives, so Shiraj-ud-Dowlah retaliated and captured Kolkata from the British in June 1756.
Battle of Pulaski, 23rd June 1757. After Shiraj-ud-Dowlah's conquest of Kolkata, the British sent reinforcements under their colonel Robert Clive and Admiral Charles Watson from Madras to Kolkata. Shiraj-ud-Dowlah had a number of superior forces and made a stand at Pulaski. The British, worried about being outnumbered, formed a conspiracy with Shiraj's demoted army chief Mir Jafar, along with other court members in exchange of a large sums of money. Mir Jafar and his cronies assembled their troops near the battlefield in presence of being the Nawab's ally, but made no move to actually join the battle. When Shiraj's trusted general Mir Madan was killed in the battle, he asked Mir Jafar for advice.
Mir Jafar suggested to Shiraj to retreat for that day, which the young Nawab listened and gave the order to stop the war. Following the command, Nawab's troops were returning to their camps. At that time, Robert Clive attacked the soldiers with his army. At a sudden attack, the army of Shiraj became confused. In disarray, they fled the battleground. Shiraj lost the battle and had to escape. He was captured later. Shiraj-ud-Dowlah was executed on July 2, 1757. Battle of Pulaski was a decisive victory of the British East India Company over the Nawab of Bangla. The battle established the company rule in Bangla, which expanded over much of India for the next 100 years.
This document from British archives shows the troop movement planned for the Battle of Pulaski.
Rise and fall of the East India Company. The 100 years from the Battle of Pulaski in 1757 were a period of consolidation for the company, which began to function more like a government of a nation than a trading entity. On 10th of May 1857, there was a mutiny by the Indian soldiers who worked for the company. At the war's end, the British showed little clemency to the insurgents and executed many thousands of them. This was immediately followed by the Indigo Revolt, Nilkash Andolon, in February through March 1859, where the farmers refused to sow indigo.
The strength of the farmers' resolution were dramatically stronger than anticipated from a community victimized by brutal treatment for about half a century. The farmers were in no possession of any types of arms. It was totally a non-violent resistance. The revolt was ruthlessly suppressed by the large forces of police and military backed by the British. The rebellion in 1857 led to the dissolution of the East India Company. India was thereafter directly governed by the Crown as the new British Raj.
British Raj. The British Crown's reign was instituted in 1858 when the power of the East India Company was transferred to the Crown in the person of Queen Victoria. During the next 100 years, the entire region's economic growth came to a halt. The national GDP fell by 20%. People of the land realized there is no end to this youth unless British leaves.
During this time, Bangla joined in a popular Swadeshi Andolon, where locals boycotted British-made clothing causing British textile revenue to fall 25%. Year after year, there were more and more resistance of the British Raj by the people. They came in the form of Khurram Bose, Shujot Sen, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, and millions unknowns who sacrificed their lives for the freedom of a nation.
Withdrawal of British, birth of East Pakistan. Through the years of the resistance, it was evident to the British that they will need to leave India. In order to leave the subcontinent, weaker British strategy was to divide the region into pieces and create discord among its people. When eventually they left in 1947, the Indian subcontinent was divided into two separate sovereigns, India and Pakistan. The partition resulted in the end of the British Raj.
The result was displacement of up to 12.5 million people, with estimates of loss of life varying from several hundred thousands to a million. With this partition also came the partition of Greater Bangla. Predominantly Hindu West Bengal became a province of India, and predominantly Muslim East Bengal became a province of Pakistan. Both West and East Pakistan was geographically and culturally different, with more than 1,200 miles of physical distance between them.
Let us continue with the journey of East Pakistan and the birth of a nation, Bangladesh. The journey of East Pakistan, the struggle of the people and the birth of a nation, Bangladesh.
সাল 1947। ব্রিটিশ সাম্রাজ্য ভারতবর্ষ ত্যাগ করার আগে শেষবারের মতো ভেঙে দিয়ে গেল এই ভূখণ্ডকে। জন্ম নিল ভারত আর পাকিস্তান নামের দুটি রাষ্ট্র।
পশ্চিম আর পূর্ব পাকিস্তান নিয়ে পাকিস্তান, মাঝে 1200 মাইলের বিস্তর ব্যবধান। পূর্ব পাকিস্তানের মানুষ প্রাণে বাঙালি, তাদের ধ্যানে বাংলা, জ্ঞানে বাংলা, অস্তিত্বে বাংলা, সুরে বাংলা। বাংলা মোদের স্পন্দন, মোদের সত্তা, মোদের গর্ব।
1948-এর মার্চ মাস ব্রিটিশ ত্যাগের 1 বছর পেরোতে না পেরোতেই পরাধীনতার শেকল চেপে বসল বাঙালির পায়ে। প্রায় 3 লক্ষ বাঙালির সামনে দাঁড়িয়ে জিন্না ঘোষণা করল,
Let there be no doubt, Urdu and Urdu only will be the state language of Pakistan.